Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing well. We're going to do a ceramic coating maintenance wash on this Lexus using the 2 bucket wash method. And then you can see my black bucket there that's specifically for wheels. Soap wise, we're going to use the CarPro Reset today. I do like this soap a lot, and I tend to not use that much of it. Generally per wash around 1.5 to 2 ounces, and I generally use a little bit too much. Got grit guards in both my buckets, as you see. I don't have a grit guard in the black wheel bucket. I've never used one in there. Just dump the soap in one of your buckets and then leave the other bucket just with water. I also then put the same amount of soap into the wheel bucket. Sometimes on these ceramic coated wheels you don't need any wheel cleaners, just your general soap and water works good. As far as wheel cleaning tools, I'm going to use my blue wheel cleaning brush and then the boar's hairs brush and a couple nice microfiber towels. Typically, if it's a nice car, we do like to do a pre-rinse foam with the foam cannon before we even touch it. I'm just going to use the CarPro Reset, a couple ounces in my foam cannon, and we'll see kind of how that foams up. I'm not really too sure how well it'll work. Generally, I'll use the Geon foam, but I didn't have enough in stock. Going to be using my Simpson 3600 PSI pressure washer, and this hose reel I love, guys. If you don't have a hose reel, I definitely recommend it if you wash your car a lot. It definitely comes in handy. A bit of an expense, but well worth it. As you can see here, I'm putting these things under the wheels. It kind of keeps the lines from getting trapped. You know how when you're pulling a hose and stuff, it gets trapped under the tire? Well, these things actually prevent that. If you're interested, just comment and like to be entered to win a set of these. As you can see here, just comment below, like the video, and you'll automatically be entered to win. First things first, before we even spray the body with any water, we're going to do all our prep work first. As you can see here, I was just pressure washing the wheel wells. As far as wheels go, I am going to use the CarPro iron remover. CarPro and Geon both I really like really well. And then I'll use my blue brush to get in behind the wheel in the wheel dish. And then I'll use my microfiber towels on the outside and my boar's hair brush there at the lug nuts, as you can see. This process works, I would say, probably for 75% of the wheels that we get in. Sometimes they're a little bit more dirtier and need a little bit more attention. But these are coated, and they're a lot easier to clean up if they're coated. Whether you're washing your own car at home or you detail cars every day like us, you start to realize that the prep work is super important, but it takes twice as long as actually just washing the paint of the car. Your door jambs, your engine bay, your wheels, your tires, wheel wells, the dirtier it is, the longer it seems to take. Now we're going to finally test out the CarPro Reset. As you can see here, it worked really good. I was surprised it stuck that well to the coating. So I'll definitely be using this in the foam cannon again. Sometimes on the coated cars, the foam just doesn't stick. It all kind of falls off. And you want something to stick on there for at least a little bit. That way it'll help lift some of the dirt and debris for when you go to pressure wash it off, like you see I'm doing. I didn't let the soap on there for very long. Basically, once I was done foaming it, it was time to rinse it all off. Do you have to foam cannon every car? And do we foam cannon every car? No, we don't. But typically every coated car or every really nice car that isn't all scratched up. We coated this car about 2 years ago, and the customer maintains it really well. So we like to do all the proper steps to prevent any kind of micro scratching. Now with the wash starting, finally the car's all wet, pre-rinse is done. We're just going to work our way from top to bottom and then front to back. As you can see here, I'm just using my nice microfiber wash mitt. Got the 2 buckets there. Go back to your rinse bucket every once in a while, dip it in, get out all the dirt. Once I have the whole top side done, basically the roof, the hood, the trunk, and even the side windows, and sometimes even the mirrors if I remember, I'll go ahead and rinse it off with the hose. I do like taking the hose nozzle off. As you can see here, I'm running around. I can't find the hose nozzle. I think the coated cars rinse off a little easier when you do take the hose nozzle off. As you can see here, I'm just blowing off this whole top side. If you're working out in the sun, this isn't a bad idea, guys. Just kind of do the whole top side and then dry it off. That way you don't let that water dry onto the paint. Now our water at the shop is fairly good. I do have a spot-free rinse system, which we don't use every day, but our water generally is pretty good. We have it tested a couple times a year. And then once the whole top side's done, washed and dried, if you prefer to dry it, you can, or that's kind of up to you guys. And then I'll wash the whole side, use a separate towel for the wheel well lip there and the rockers, and then go ahead and rinse this whole side off without trying to make the top side wet. and then I'll come back through and blow that whole side off. And the whole top side's done, and then this whole driver's side's done as well. And you guys really don't have to do it this way. If you prefer to dry it all off when you're done washing it, that's definitely fine. It is kind of a pain in the butt because you have to be careful when you're rinsing off the soap not to wet the whole car over again. But I think it definitely helps with water spots, especially on like really large vehicles that take forever. And by the time you get to dry it, the water's already dried onto the paint. And then I'll just go around, do the whole thing. I just did the whole front end, the bumper and the lights and the grill, and I'll just blow all that off and then do the same exact thing I did to the driver's side to this passenger side, washing everything kind of top to bottom. And then this car's the rockers weren't super dirty, so I didn't even use a separate microfiber towel on the rockers, but then wheel well lips are super dirty, so I had a whole separate microfiber towel for them. I do apologize in advance if you hear any babies crying in the background. My son has a couple of teeth coming in and he's super fussy. I got this new mic that I'm using right now for this video, and I think it picks up everything in the whole house. Then doing the whole rear end, I typically will pull the license plate, but he had like permanent caps on the license plate and I didn't want to mess with it. So I'm just going to wash around it and then blow dry it. Once I'm done the washing and drying process, I'll typically wipe the whole exterior down with the P&S bead maker and get any drips like under the mirrors and any little cracks and crevices that drip water. You could also do the door jambs first, but I actually did the door jambs after I wiped the whole car down. You can do it either way. I kind of switch it up. Every other car I'll do something a little different just to make the day a little bit more interesting. Then once the door jambs are done, I'll finally come back through and do all the interior and exterior glass, and then wrap up any other little odd end stuff like tire shine. I actually didn't put any tire shine on this one. As you can see, I didn't even scrub the tires because he had a couple layers of tire shine on there already. I didn't even need to mess with them for this basic maintenance wash. I think that's pretty much it. Let's go check it out and see how it turned out.